The air in the ballroom hangs thick and sweet, a cloying mix of expensive perfume, wilting lilies, and the faint, underlying scent of desperation. Crystal chandeliers drip light onto polished floors, reflecting 1,000 tiny, distorted images of the crowd gathered below. Waiters drift silently, offering trays of champagne, the bubbles catching the light like ephemeral stars. It's the annual gala for my sister's charity, an event that always feels less like a celebration of altruism and more like a coronation. And tonight, the queen is about to be crowned. From my table near the back, a strategic position, I chose to minimize the inevitable small talk and force smiles. I watch her. My sister. Illuminated on the stage, bathed in a light that feels warmer, softer, somehow more flattering than the harsh glare hitting the rest of us. She stands beside my mother, both of them beaming, radiating an aura of effortless grace and public service. The applause swells, a wave of dutiful admiration from the city's elite, all dressed in their finest, their laughter a practiced melody. My own smile feels like something carved from ice, brittle and ready to shatter. My stomach is a tight, cold knot. I let my gaze drift across the faces in the crowd, searching for, I don't know what, a flicker of genuine warmth? A recognition that extends beyond the person standing on the stage? It's a foolish search. They see what they are shown. They applaud the story they are told. And the story, tonight and every night, is about her. It's about her passion, her dedication, her beautiful, selfless heart. The microphone on stage hisses softly as my mother leans in, her voice, smooth and polished, filling the room. She's the keynote speaker tonight, a role she always relishes, especially when it involves showcasing her favorite masterpiece. A familiar tremor starts deep within me, a resonance from a lifetime of standing just outside the spotlight, watching it land squarely on someone else. The air gets thinner. My lungs feel tight. The first few sentences are the standard platitudes, thanking sponsors, acknowledging volunteers. I've heard them all before, variations on a theme. But then her voice softens, takes on a different timbre, one laced with a specific, potent blend of pride and affection reserved for one person, and one person only. She speaks of the charity's founding, painting a picture of nascent struggle and unwavering vision. She tells anecdotes, carefully curated moments designed to highlight my sister's tenacity, her compassion, her sheer goodness. Each word is a brushstroke adding to a portrait of near sainthood, a portrait that, through omission more than direct falsehood, paints everyone else in slightly duller hues. It's the little details that sting the most, the way she describes my sister's sleepless nights poring over budgets, conveniently forgetting the sleepless nights I spent figuring out how to make the kind of money that makes budgets look like pocket change. She talks about my sister's personal sacrifices, never mentioning the sacrifices I made, the isolation of building something from nothing, the sheer, grinding loneliness of the climb. My success is an abstract concept to them, a fortunate accident that happened elsewhere, disconnected from the real, tangible, admirable work being done here, on this stage, by her. My hands, resting in my lap, clench involuntarily. My fingernails bite into my palms, a small, sharp pain that momentarily distracts from the larger, duller ache in my chest. The knot in my stomach tightens, twists. It's not just about the money, not anymore. It's about the narrative. The story of our family, as told by the gatekeeper of that story. And in her version, I am a footnote, a supporting character who occasionally sends a check, perhaps, but never the hero, never the pride. The applause for my mother's introductory remarks is warm, appreciative. She smiles, a regal nod, then gestures to my sister. The true main event. My sister steps forward, her own smile bright and genuine, practiced, but not entirely fake. She is good at this. She believes in the cause, I'll give her that. But she also believes in the narrative. She has always believed in the narrative where she is the light and I am something else. The shadow, perhaps, or just part of the background noise. This feeling, this specific brand of emotional claustrophobia, is suffocating. It's the feeling of being buried alive under layers of expectation and misperception. They look at me, if they look at all, and they see the quiet one, the one who went away, the one who built something they don't understand. They don't see the effort, the fight, the constant, gnawing need for a single word of genuine, unprompted praise. Just one time. My mother takes the microphone again, ready for the grand finale of her introduction, the part where she elevates my sister from dedicated worker to family icon. I brace myself. My jaw clenches so hard my teeth ache. Every nerve ending feels raw, exposed. This is the moment. The words are coming. I can feel them gathering in the air, heavy with the weight of years of unspoken comparisons, years of feeling less than, years of trying and failing to measure up to a standard that kept shifting, kept receding, kept favoring the other one. And now, my mother's voice rings out, amplified, echoing slightly in the cavernous room. It is my immense pleasure to introduce the driving force behind all of this, the heart and soul of this incredible organization, the person who embodies everything we stand for. She pauses, her eyes shining as she looks at my sister. My sister lowers her gaze modestly, a perfect picture of humble dedication. The crowd leans in. I feel a prickling sensation behind my eyes, a familiar precursor to tears that I immediately force back. Not here. Not now. Don't let them see. Don't let her see. My daughter. My mother's voice swells with emotion. Our guiding light, our inspiration, our pride. She says the words. Our pride, just like I knew she would. It's a phrase that has echoed through the halls of my childhood, a label applied selectively, a crown placed on one head while the other watched from the sidelines. Our pride. Not mine. Not shared. Our pride. Singular. Referring to one person. Standing right there. The knot in my stomach twists violently. A cold, sharp pain shoots through me. It feels like a physical blow. It's irrational, I know. I am a grown adult. I have built a life, a successful one, on my own terms. Their approval should not matter this much. But it does. It still does. Because the child inside me, the one who desperately wanted to hear those words directed at her just once, is still listening. And she just heard them again. For someone else. The applause erupts, louder this time, genuine in its response to my mother's heartfelt, public declaration. People are standing now, giving a standing ovation for the introduction of my sister, our pride. It's overwhelming, the sheer weight of their collective approval, focused entirely on her, reflecting off my mother's beaming face. I sit frozen, part of the backdrop, the air around me suddenly colder, thinner, invisible, again, always again. My fingers dig deeper into my palms. The ice in my smile is cracking. The carefully constructed mask of composure is beginning to slip. The familiar urge to disappear, to just evaporate from this room, is overwhelming. But beneath that, a different feeling is stirring. Something colder, harder. Something that has been building for years, a quiet pressure behind a dam of forced acceptance and polite performance. And in this moment, under the blinding lights, with the sound of that applause ringing in my ears, the dam begins to crack. I came here tonight not just because it was expected, but because there was a small, foolish part of me that hoped maybe this time it would be different. That maybe, just maybe, my own quiet contributions, my own separate achievements, might earn a fractional share of that public affection, that family pride. That maybe, for once, I wouldn't feel like a stranger at a table full of my own relatives. But no, the script is fixed. The roles are assigned. And I am not our pride. I am the other one. The one who succeeded elsewhere. The one whose success is acknowledged with a polite nod, perhaps, but never held up as a beacon. My sister is the heart. She is the soul. She is the pride. And I am just here. A wave of nausea washes over me. I feel like I might throw up the expensive canapes I barely touched. This is it. This is the moment that always happens. The moment I am reminded, in the most public way possible, of my place. And my place is not in the spotlight. It is not on the stage. It is not in their hearts, not in the way she is. The standing ovation continues. My sister steps forward, her eyes glistening, touched by the outpouring of apparent love. She whispers something to my mother, a shared moment between them, a connection I have always envied, always craved, and never truly had. It's a private exchange in a public space, a micro-betrayal that feels as sharp as any grand gesture. They are a unit, a team, and I am not on the team. This is the tipping point. The years of polite silence, of swallowing the hurt, of pretending it doesn't matter, they all converge on this single moment, this single phrase. Our pride, it's a match dropped into a powder keg of stored resentment, of quiet pain. And something inside me ignites. I look at the stage, at the two figures bathed in light, basking in the glow of collective admiration. And a cold, hard clarity washes over me. I have spent my life trying to earn their approval, trying to fit into their picture of success, their definition of worthiness. I have bent myself into shapes that were not my own, seeking a validation that was never freely given. I have pursued paths they understood, hoping it would finally make them see me. And it has never worked. It will never work. Because the problem isn't me. The problem is the lens through which they choose to see. The narrative they have already written. And tonight, they have hammered the final nail into the coffin of my quiet longing. They have declared, publicly and unequivocally, who holds the title of pride in this family. A strange calm settles over me, the calm of absolute certainty. The burning anger is still there, but it's been transmuted into something colder, sharper. This isn't just about them anymore. This is about reclaiming my own narrative. This is about showing them that my story isn't one of quiet longing and perpetual disappointment. It's a story of building my own damn world, a world they barely acknowledge, but one that is power. Real power. The kind they understand. The kind they measure in numbers, in impact, in tangible results. They want to talk about impact? They want to talk about contributions? They want to talk about the heart and soul of this organization, built on dedication and personal sacrifice? Fine. Let's talk about it. But let's talk about the full picture. Let's talk about the silent partner. The invisible force. The one who made the numbers possible. The administrator of the charity, a kind woman named Sarah I've been working with for months on this specific project, is sitting at the table next to mine. Our eyes meet. There's a flicker of understanding, a shared secret held between us. We practiced this. We planned this. We knew this moment might come. The moment when the public performance became too much to bear. I give her the smallest possible nod, a fractional tilt of my head that only she would recognize. My heart is pounding now, a heavy drumbeat against my ribs, but my hands are steady. My breathing is controlled. The cold calm holds. This is it. The pivot. The shift. From passive observer to active participant. From enduring the narrative to disrupting it entirely. Sarah nods back, almost imperceptibly. She turns slightly in her chair, discreetly reaching for her phone hidden beneath the tablecloth. She sends a single, pre-written message to the technical team running the event's AV system. The message is simple. Proceed with Phase 2. The standing ovation for my sister begins to subside, fading into scattered, lingering applause as she steps up to the microphone, ready to give her own speech. My mother stands beside her, still beaming, still radiating that possessive pride. They are confident. They are in control of the narrative. They have just put a definitive stamp on their version of reality. They have no idea what is about to happen. My sister begins to speak, her voice clear and earnest, expressing gratitude, talking about the charity's mission. I listen, or pretend to listen, the words washing over me as my focus narrows to the stage, to the large projection screen behind them. The screen that has been displaying the charity's logo, rotating through images of their work. The background music, a gentle, uplifting piano melody, plays softly beneath my sister's voice. The room feels warm, filled with the good feeling of people celebrating a worthy cause. A cause I also believe in genuinely. That's the cruel irony of all of this. I support the charity not just to gain approval, but because I believe in what they do. The work is real. The impact is real. It's the personal dynamic that's the poison. My sister is talking about the importance of community support, about how every donation, no matter how small, makes a difference. Standard fundraising rhetoric. Effective, but standard. And utterly blind to the scale of the support that is about to redefine their understanding of difference. The tension inside me is immense now, a coil wound impossibly tight. It's fear mixed with anticipation, dread mixed with grim satisfaction. What will happen?
How will they react?
Will this finally make them see? Or will it just break things irrevocably? The thought of shattering the fragile facade of our family is terrifying, but the thought of continuing to live within it, invisible and gasping for air, is even worse. The projection screen behind my sister flickers. My eyes lock onto it. My sister pauses in her speech, perhaps noticing the change in the screen, perhaps distracted by a sudden shift in the energy of the room. My mother turns her head, frowning slightly. The logo fades, replaced by numbers. Stark white text on a simple black background. The kind of slide typically used for financial reports, but this isn't a report. This is a single, bold statement. The text reads, "Anonymous donation." A hush falls over the room, spreading out from the front tables like a ripple. My sister stops speaking entirely, her mouth slightly open. My mother's frown deepens. They are confused. This wasn't part of the program. Then the next line appears below the first. $50 million. $50 million. The number hangs in the air, massive, impossible, stealing the breath from every single person in the room. 50 million. To this charity. An anonymous donation. My sister stares at the screen, her eyes wide, uncomprehending. My mother's face, just moments ago radiating pride, goes completely, utterly blank. The color drains from her cheeks. Her mouth forms a silent O of shock. They freeze. Just like I knew they would. Like statues carved from disbelief. The gentle piano music stutters, then cuts out entirely, replaced by an electric silence. The kind of silence that screams louder than any noise. Every eye in the room is on the screen, then swiveling to the stage, where the two figures stand rigid, blindsided. The narrative has been hijacked. Their carefully constructed moment of triumph has been obliterated by a single, undeniable number. Whispers start, a low murmur that quickly rises in volume. 50 million? Who? Where did that come from? The buzz of speculation is immediate, frantic. People are craning their necks, looking around the room, trying to spot a potential whale, a previously unknown benefactor. They look everywhere, but at me. Of course. Why would they look at me? I'm just the quiet one. The other one. The invisible one. A slow, cold wave of satisfaction washes over me. It's not warm, not comforting. It's more like the stark, clean feeling of antiseptic. It doesn't heal the wound, but it stops the bleeding.
For now.
My mother recovers first, her years of social conditioning kicking in. She forces a smile, a wobbly, unnatural curve of her lips. She takes the microphone back from my stunned sister. Well, she says, her voice too high, too bright, strained around the edges. What an incredible surprise. An astonishing act of generosity. $50 million. My goodness. She is trying to regain control, to fold this unexpected earthquake into the planned narrative. An astonishing act of generosity. An anonymous hero. Someone out there, recognizing my daughter's work, her dedication, and rewarding it on a scale nobody could have imagined. That's the spin. That's the immediate, frantic attempt to reclaim the spotlight, to ensure the narrative remains centered on the established pride. My sister is still staring at the screen, her expression a mixture of awe and confusion. She is genuinely stunned. I can see that. She is a true believer in the charity, and the sheer scale of the donation is hitting her on a different level than my mother. For a moment, I see a flicker of something that might be shared joy, a joint victory for the cause. But then her eyes flick to my mother, reading the forced smile, hearing the strained voice, and the look shifts. The confusion remains, but something else enters it.
Doubt.
Suspicion. My mother is talking again, improvising wildly, trying to pivot the focus back to my sister's leadership, trying to frame this anonymous gift as a validation of her vision, her tireless efforts. It is proof, she is saying, that the world sees the incredible value she has created. I watch her, this woman who gave me life but never quite gave me her unconditional light. I watch her twist this moment, this undeniably massive contribution, into a reflection of her and her favorite child. And the cold satisfaction deepens. Because she's missing the point. She's missing the knife edge of the twist. It's not just an anonymous donation. It's my anonymous donation. And I made sure the administrator knew exactly how to ensure its impact was felt, not just financially but narratively. While my mother talks, trying to steer the narrative back to safety, the screen behind her changes again. This time, it shows a brief video clip. It's a simple, static shot of a bank transfer confirmation screen. Account numbers are redacted, but the date is visible, recent. The amount is visible, $50 million. And in the notes section, visible for the entire room to see, is a short, specific message I insisted be included with the transfer, a message known only to me, the administrator, and now, everyone here. The text in the notes field reads, "In honor of enduring dedication." From the quiet corner. The murmur in the room dies down again, replaced by a different kind of silence. A speculative, questioning silence. In honor of enduring dedication? Yes, that fits the sisters' narrative. But from the quiet corner? What does that mean? Who is in the quiet corner? My mother stops speaking mid-sentence. Her eyes, which had been scanning the room with practiced confidence, snap back to the screen. She reads the words. From the quiet corner, her brow furrows. She looks puzzled for a fraction of a second. Then her eyes flick towards me. My stomach clenches, but not with pain this time. With a fierce, almost terrifying exhilaration. This is it. The moment of dawning realization. She looks at me, sitting there quietly at my table, far from the stage, far from the spotlight. She looks at my face, which I keep carefully blank, unreadable. The gears are turning in her head. The quiet one. The one who went away and built things quietly. The one whose achievements were always seen as separate, different, not part of the main family narrative. The one who always occupied the quiet corner while the other one shone. Her eyes widen. The last vestiges of forced composure crumble. Her face contorts, a flicker of disbelief, then shock, then something that looks terrifyingly close to pure rage. She knows. She doesn't know how or why or all the details, but she knows. She understands the implication of from the quiet corner, linked to a $50 million donation. She understands that the quiet one wasn't just sitting there in the corner. The quiet one was building something that could overshadow everything they've ever put on display. My sister follows her gaze, her eyes finding me too. Her confusion deepens, giving way to astonishment as she sees the look on my mother's face, a look she has likely never seen directed at me before. And then she looks back at the screen, back at the words from the quiet corner, and back at me. She sees the subtle connection, the impossible scale of the number, the deliberate phrasing that points away from the spotlight, towards the shadows I've always inhabited. The air crackles with the unspoken revelation. The room is deathly silent again. Everyone is watching the three of us. The mother, the sister on stage, and the quiet figure at the back table. I meet my mother's furious gaze. And for the first time in my life, I don't flinch. I don't look away. I hold her gaze, steady and unyielding. There's no smile on my face, no triumph. Just a cold, hard stillness. This isn't joy. It's something else. Something born of too much pain, too much neglect, too many years of being told, in countless subtle and not-so-subtle ways, that I wasn't enough. She finally breaks the stare, her chest heaving slightly. She turns back to the microphone, trying desperately to find words, any words, to reclaim the moment. But the power has shifted. The narrative has been wrestled from her grasp. $50 million speaks louder than any introduction, any speech, any declaration of pride. Especially when that money comes from the very person she just implicitly excluded. The room is a sea of stunned faces. People are whispering my name now. Not just the other daughter, but my name linked to that impossible number. The invisible woman is suddenly visible, and the glare of the spotlight, redirected by a $50 million truth bomb, feels searingly hot. My sister, God bless her naive heart, steps forward again, looking genuinely overwhelmed. $50 million, she whispers into the microphone, her voice trembling slightly. I don't even know what to say. This is monumental. It will change everything. She turns to my mother, seeking guidance, understanding, but my mother is still reeling, her public mask shattered. She looks like she might be sick. My sister looks back at the screen, then back at me. For a moment, I see a flicker of the sister I grew up with, the one who wasn't yet fully consumed by the role she was cast in. There's a question in her eyes, a silent plea for understanding. I don't give her anything.
Not yet.
The stone-cold exterior must hold. This isn't over. The immediate shock is one thing. The fallout is another. My mother finally finds her voice, but it's strained, thin. Yes, she manages to say, her eyes still fixed on me with a look of betrayal so profound it's almost comical. Monumental. Truly astonishing. She says the word astonishing like a curse, like it's the worst thing that could have happened. And for her carefully managed worldview, maybe it is. Her pride was supposed to be the culmination of her efforts, her guidance, her narrative. And now, the quiet one, the overlooked one, has delivered a blow that dwarfs everything, on her own terms, from her own quiet corner. It's an undeniable act of power from someone she never saw as powerful. The whispers rise again, louder, more direct now. My name is everywhere. The air is thick with speculation, with curiosity. People are looking at me with new eyes. Not with polite indifference, but with intense, focused attention. The invisibility cloak has been ripped away. I feel the weight of it, the sudden, unexpected pressure of being seen after a lifetime of being overlooked. It's uncomfortable. It's exposed. But there's also a strange sense of liberation. They can't unsee it. They can't put me back in the corner. The number is real. The source, however discreetly phrased, is clear to anyone who knows our family dynamics. My mother steps away from the microphone, her face a mask of furious control. She reaches out and takes my sister's arm, squeezing it tightly. It's a gesture meant to be supportive, unifying, but from where I sit, it looks like she's trying to tether herself to the only part of her narrative still standing upright. The event is effectively stalled. My sister is supposed to give a speech, but the energy has fundamentally shifted. How do you follow a $50 million anonymous donation from the person your mother just failed to mention as our pride? The chairman of the charity's board, a portly man in a tuxedo who looks like he might have a stroke from sheer excitement, rushes onto the stage. He grabs the microphone, his voice booming, trying to restore order, to express appropriate levels of institutional gratitude. He thanks the anonymous donor profusely, talking about the incredible impact this will have, the programs it will fund, the lives it will change. He's genuinely thrilled. He doesn't understand the personal drama unfolding beneath the surface of this financial windfall. I listen to him, the words blurring together. Impact.
Change.
Future. Yes, that's real. That's the good part of this. The money will do immense good. And that was always part of the point. I wanted the charity to benefit, truly benefit. But I also wanted the truth to be seen. I wanted the quiet corner to have its moment. My mother is staring at me again from the side of the stage. Her eyes are narrowed now, calculating. She is likely wondering about my motives. Was this an act of spite? A power play? A desperate bid for attention? It was all of those things in part, but it was also necessary. A necessary explosion to break through the layers of denial and dismissal. My sister glances at me again, a flicker of something I can't quite read crossing her face. Curiosity? Hurt? Understanding? Our relationship has always been complicated, shaped by the dynamics of our upbringing, the roles we were implicitly assigned. She wasn't actively malicious, not usually, but she was complicit in the narrative, accepting the spotlight, the praise, the title of pride, without question, without acknowledging the cost it had on the one standing in the shadows. The chairman is winding down his ecstatic impromptu speech. He thanks the mother and sister again, tries to get the program back on track. My sister manages to compose herself somewhat and starts her speech again, but the earlier energy is gone. Her voice is a little shaky. The room is still buzzing, everyone exchanging theories, stealing glances at me. I sit through the rest of the evening, a strange, detached feeling settling over me. People approach my table now, people who ignored me earlier. They offer congratulations, ask pointed questions disguised as polite curiosity. I answer vaguely, politely. Yes, it's an incredible gift. No, I don't know who the anonymous donor is. The lie feels sharp on my tongue, but necessary. The anonymity was key to the twist, to the pure, undeniable impact of the number and the message hitting them without a pre-assigned face. The revelation is in the context, in the words from the quiet corner directed at them. My mother avoids my table. My sister sends hesitant glances my way, but doesn't approach. The gulf between us, always present, feels wider tonight, filled with unspoken words and the reverberations of a perfectly aimed truth bomb. Leaving the gala feels different from arriving. The air outside is cooler, cleaner. The city sounds feel sharper, more real than the muffled buzz of the ballroom. I walk out alone, as I came. There's no triumphant feeling, no surge of joy, just a deep, weary sense of finality. I did it. I forced them to see. I disrupted the narrative. I took the one thing they valued most, their public image, their carefully curated story of family pride, and I injected a truth into it that they cannot ignore. A truth that came from the place they preferred to forget. But the ache is still there. The victory is cold. Standing in the spotlight I forced onto myself doesn't magically heal the years of feeling unseen. It doesn't change the past. It only changes the present, and perhaps the future of our relationship, which now feels irrevocably altered, possibly broken beyond repair. Was it worth it? The question echoes in the quiet space of my car as I drive away from the glittering building. The 50 million will do immense good. That much is undeniable. And forcing the acknowledgement, forcing them to choke on their public narrative, there is a brutal satisfaction in that. A sense of reclaiming agency, of finally speaking a truth that has been suffocating me. But the silence from them feels louder than any applause. The look on my mother's face, that mix of fury and betrayal, is etched into my memory. The hesitant confusion in my sister's eyes lingers. I won the battle of the narrative tonight. But the war for connection, for genuine acceptance, feels lost. Maybe that's the lesson. That you can't buy love. You can't force validation. You can't rewrite a lifetime of history with a single, grand gesture, no matter how impactful. But you can, sometimes, blast a hole in the wall they built around you, just to prove you were there all along. Just to prove the quiet corner had power they never imagined. The feeling tonight is not happiness. It's not even entirely vindication. It's a complex mix of cold triumph, lingering hurt, and a profound, isolating loneliness. I stand in the light I created, but I stand alone. And perhaps that was always the inevitable outcome. The price of stepping out of the quiet corner, on my own terms. If this story hit close to home, if you've ever felt overlooked or had to fight for your place in a narrative that wasn't yours, I'd love to hear your version in the comments below. Drop a comment with where you're listening from and what time it is. Thanks for being here. Subscribing helps bring more of these to life.